and the man himself joins us in the build-up to what is another big game. Not that there are small games that Collingwood play in, but Friday night's going to be packed.
It's 80,000 every game.
Against the Bombers. Steele, welcome to you.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Where are the Pies at right now, Steele? Sort of glass half full, glass half empty. You're just starting to get some players back at the right end of the year, and I guess you just need to start winning games to put yourselves in a position.
Yeah, definitely glass half full, mate. That's the approach that we always take. I think we've been able to perform with whatever personnel has been in the team. We, like everyone, try to worry about who we've got out there and not who we don't. But it's nice to get some of your better players. But I think we've been able to hold up in some games where potentially, as you mentioned, some of the personnel hasn't been there. But I think the sort of system we're playing just allows guys to come in and be able to play a role. So I think we've been going okay.
Hey, Steele, you look at the next couple of weeks. Friday night at the G, it's going to be huge crowds. You've got Essendon in 4th position, the Cats in 5th, and then you take on the Hawks, so who knows what they're going to be doing in a couple of weeks. They've been on fire. So this is a really big block of games coming up.
Yeah, it's very crucial, and I don't know how. It's round 17 already, and you want to start playing your best footy, and the challenges will keep coming no matter what team it is. And it's the Bombers this week, so we're up for another good challenge and looking to bounce back from last weekend.
Still, Scoop just said half full or half empty. I was looking at your game against the Suns. You gave up 68 entries to the Suns, but you were then able to score from your back half. You had 12 scores from back half, which is the most of any team since 2014. So you look at that and go, gee, that's great ball movement. But are you a bit worried about how much ball the opposition's been getting?
I think the last 2 games we've played, Gold Coast and North, we've given up, over 100 points. So, we don't want the ball in our D50 that much for one. But as you said, if we can limit the opportunity that the teams are getting to go inside 50, then hopefully we can still have that rebound and go back the other way and score. But I think Team D is something that we'll look to keep building on. But 100 points the last couple of weeks isn't ideal.
I've loved watching a bit of Nathan Krueger the last few weeks. I feel like the Pies fans love him. They get the big Krug chant going. How have you seen him? Is he someone that you think is developing nicely and can stay in the team now?
Yeah, I think so. And he sort of brings something different. I think he's got that, I suppose, little bit of mongrel in him, which is nice as a forward. And, I think you sort of played on the edge a little bit, Richo, which is always nice. But you just know what you're going to get from him. He attacks the contest. He took a specker the other week, so he can pop up and do some things that not everyone can do. But I just love what he brings when he competes. We don't always want him marking the footy, but if he can bring it to the ground, then he's doing his job.
Did you just claim, Steele, that Richo played on the edge? I'm not aware of this.
Mentally on the edge, I think he meant.
No, I've seen Richo firing out there a few times. That's just all.
Usually cracking it at one of his own teammates, wouldn't it?
That's on the edge, Scoop.
Yeah, exactly right. Being hard on him.
What do you think this group is capable of, Steele? Because at your best, you're as good a team of the competition externally. What happened last year must give you a lot of belief, but the competition does seem even more even this year than it was last year.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't sit still, and we can't afford to sit still either. Our best from last year is definitely not going to cut it this year, and we're always looking to improve. I think the competition the last sort of 4 or 5 years, it's so close, and you need to always be on your game, and that doesn't matter who you play. If you have slip-ups or you don't bring your A game every week, then you're vulnerable and you're putting yourself out there to get beat. So our challenge, like everyone, is just to try and stay as consistent as possible. And, I think we've got really good plans in place that, when I suppose when the whips are cracking, we want to be playing our best footy. And, I still feel that our best is ahead of us this year for sure.
Something came across my desk this afternoon that suggested that Dan McStay was close to playing. And I'm not talking about right at the back end of the year. I'm talking about in the next couple of weeks. That would be, so he did his knee in the prelim against GWS and then redid it, I reckon, in early December. Steele, that would be a very quick turnaround.
Yeah, it's very quick. Macca he's dominating out there at the moment. We had some match sim today, and
wow,
that's great.
Yeah, poor TJ had Macca sit on his head, which we watched the Savo. He's in absolute peak condition. He looks like Tarzan, and he's actually been training like Tarzan as well out there. So, that's one that we'll hope to get back at some stage towards the end of the year. But I think for Macca to go through, some heartbreak at the end of last year, and then obviously to do his knee at the start of pre-season is never ideal. But the way he's attacked his rehab has been, first class. And, we're looking forward to just seeing him be able to play some footy again.
Great news for Pies fans.
That's awesome.
Steelo, we can't get through an interview without bringing up Nick Daicos, and I just was looking at some stats today. He's had 30 and 2 again last week and over 600 metres gained. He's done that 8 times since the start of last year. No other player in the comp's done it more than 3 times. Still,
he's done it 8.
8 times. You can't. The superlatives for this guy, you can't stop.
No, you're right, and I find myself out there laughing half the time with some of the things he does. He's an absolute superstar, and I love playing with him. You want to play with guys like that because he's got the footy in his hands more times than not, and what he's been able to do in such a short space of his career already is being first class, and we're very lucky to have him at the Pies.
Hey, Pendle's vision clearly is just about the best of all time, but I think Nick's nearly got better vision than him. You've got 2 of the best of all time. Can you split them as far as seeing things other players don't see?
I will say that I've seen a lot more from Pendles because I've probably played for a long time. But what Nick's been able to produce, you could probably say that I haven't seen it as good. But I think Pendles is being very good for a long time.
Just before we let you go, Steele, Kane Corn says Darcy Moore plays 1 good game in every 6. Would you agree?
What do you reckon, Sam?
I would say that's a drastic...
You had a stoush with him last night, Sam.
Well, I called it disrespectful. I think that... My perspective, Steele, is that Darcy, like probably a couple of your other defenders, are maybe a little low on form, which is why the reason you're 6th and not 1st. But he plays a lot more games than bad ones.
Yeah, 100%. And like I talked about, if they're having 70 inside 50s, our backs are under the pump for a fair chunk of the time. But, I think what Darcy brings to our team, goes further than kicks, marks and handballs. His leadership is as good as anyone's, and like I said about Nick, we're lucky to have him out there. And, he's going to have his critics or whatever, but I love going out there to battle every week with Darcy.
Steele, we love having you on the show. We love watching the Pies play. It's going to be another sensational clash in front of 80+ thousand at the MCG on Friday night when you take on the arch rivals, the Bombers. Good luck. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it. Hopefully we see all the black and white fans out there on Friday night.